state of the utility.
Very good. Thank you very much. And as we kind of take a couple months off here, doing a variety of activity at the board over the last several months, but I'll kind of pick up with July. We'll kind of go from our generation all the way through the organization, and then talk about employees as well as community activity that's been going on. From our generation side, Nebraska City, essentially through the month of June, had a capacity factor of 80%. We had a couple forced outages due to a turbine hydraulic fluid in one of the governor valve cylinders, as well as boiler tube leak as well. Nebraska City 2 remained in service for the entire month, although it was derated because of a circulating water pump. We were experiencing some failures with that. That has since been replaced, and we're operating well. But it's been essentially in continuous service for 216 days, even with some of the derate. Its capacity factor for June was 79.1%. Unit number 5 was available for operation the entire month with no forced outages or derates. Number 4 returned to service on June 3rd after an extended 34-day maintenance outage. It was scheduled and maintained. The outage was completed with the scheduled duration under budget without any significant accidents or safety incidents over the course of time. And so that went very well. I would just like to say, with some of these forced outages that have occurred on the systems as they're being stressed in the heat, these are not like in industrial buildings where they're air conditioned on the inside. And so temperatures in these buildings can be significant. If it's 100 degrees outside, it's 150, 170 degrees inside. And so our men and women on our power plants have just done an exceptional job, and those that have supported them in the district on these outages to make sure that we have our generation during these hot days of summer. Unit number 3 was in reserve shutdown for most of the month, available for operation on natural gas. However, the unit was started up on June 30th in preparation for a 90% capacity test to be performed on July 1st, and that's part of our commitment with SPP to make sure that capacity has the capability to operate. For the month of June 2016, renewable energy contributed 11.4% of OPPD's retail sales. Capacity factor for the renewables was at 40.6%. Renewable energy year-to-date has contributed 17.7% of our retail sales, and wind capacity was at 48.4%. As was reported at our board committee meeting on Tuesday, we did have a forced outage at Fort Calhoun for a period of time as we were doing and performing a modification on our digital control system. And when that scram event or that trip event occurred, the system and all the plant personnel performed in the manner in which they've been trained or which they were intended to operate. So that's positive, and that goes to and speaks to the quality of the work our team has done over the years to prepare for these kinds of events. Also in June, the Institute of Nuclear Power Operations, the INPO, announced that the accrediting board renewed our accreditation of the operations training program at OPPD's Fort Calhoun Station. And so there was several individuals, Shane and several of his management team and operators had the opportunity to go down, and trainers had the opportunity to go down and present to the accreditation board, and did just a wonderful job. And the conversation I've had with the INPO leadership was that they performed incredibly well. And so we again have that accreditation of our training programs at Fort Calhoun. On the transmission distribution side of the business, with the ongoing growth that's occurring across our service territory, a new large distribution transformer and new distribution circuits was added to substation 1253. It's also part of our commitment, not only about capacity and load changes going on in certain areas of our service territory, but also about our response about service reliability around customers. And so we've added that large distribution transformer to substation 1253 on 204th and Pacific Streets. And that transformer and all distribution circuits were energized ahead of schedule on May 19th. Substation 1366, we recently completed add of an auto transformer in that substation. That's around 27th and Platteview and Bellevue to improve reliability on that transmission system and distribution system as well. And with the ongoing growth that's occurring down there, not only at Offutt Air Force Base, but across the region in that area. And that was energized on schedule on May 31st. Obviously, we've had on the month of June a variety of storms, and so the OPPD personnel and the systems, have been stressed. One with the very, very hot weather, and certainly with storms and high winds and lightning and a variety of the things that have occurred over the last month. Over 40 crews on July 7th responded to the outages, which peaked at about 4,500 customers without power. And there was significant damage across our service territory, certainly in the South Rural as well as in the metropolitan area. Our crews were able to restore customers really within a 24-hour period. Did just an exceptional job, committed to that service with actually no injuries. We did have some folks that suffered from some heat exhaustion and things like that, but obviously restored their fluids and gave them time to rest, and then they went back out and began to restore power. Even though this was in July 6th and 7th, we also reported at the board committee meeting on Tuesday our rating agency visit that our CFO, Mr. Easterland, Director John Green, John Thurber, Mary Fisher, and I had the opportunity to talk to our rating agencies about our operating and financial condition, the board governance process, strategic cost and process initiative that's going on at OPPD, our rebalance generation portfolio initiative, environmental compliance assessment, and a review of rate competitiveness. They're about 2.5-hour meetings by the time we roll through all of that, and then they're challenging questions back to us. And then that's in anticipation of them to update our credit ratings in July prior to our future debt issue. And all of those meetings went very well, and the response by both of those agencies, as well as the representatives attending for them, was very positive on where OPPD is positioned for the future. Cool Smart program, even though it's kind of a cool day in the summer, 85 degrees I think is supposed to be the high today. Our Cool Smart program has been utilized 3 times as of July 7th anyway to reduce our peak load. Those dates are June 10th, 16th, and 17th. And so we have about 40,000 customers on that program today, which provides a demand reduction of about 55 megawatts. So we're seeing some great value of that. That current program allows OPPD to call on these customers or their systems at least up to 12 times annually. And so we're utilizing them when we need to, so we're not setting peak demands going forward. On the people side and the community side, employee side, we had 40 employees that graduated from our 2016 Career Connections. It's our mentoring program across the district. We had multiple executives and middle managers that mentor a variety of employees, obviously 40 employees across the district, not only on their development, individual and personal and professional development, but also on projects that they do within the organization and in the community. It's a great opportunity to really see the great work our employees do and the great work they're doing in the community and making the community better. So very, very proud of not only the mentors, but also the proteges and some of the work that they're doing. We've been doing a variety of different work with kids, either in our Summer Stars Camp at UNO or with Field Club Elementary School, where we worked with 55 third and fourth graders to learn about how electricity is generated, transmitted over long distances, distributed power to its customers, just a number of things going on in the industry. We had Maurice Kimsey, Gina Langle from Production Engineering. Maurice is with our Customer Sales and Service Group. Tevi Lawson is with our T&D Group. Laura Manning is with our System Planning Group. Mark Pohl is also with Customer Service. And they presented a series of sessions for this summer school to these classes. And so our employees are engaging in what we believe are going to be our future employees of the future. And our safety group actually did a safety presentation. So I have 2 big packets of thank you notes they've sent on what they've learned in that process. And so the question they asked was, how many people want to work for OPPD be maybe one person raised the hand on the front of the program. At the end of the program, everybody but one, that individual was still going to be a doctor. So that's okay. That's personally okay. We had a variety of employees participate in the NAACP-sponsored Juneteenth parade celebration that occurred on June 18th. So it was a great response and a great community representation that we had. We also had employees that supported the Urban League's Girls Summer STEAM Academy. It's a 6-week program that exposes high school girls of color to careers in science, technology, engineering, agriculture, and mathematics. And over the course of the summer, we had, for a long week, we had 4 educators that are in our school systems that come to work for OPPD for a week period of time. We give them a variety of different experiences across all of the disciplines of OPPD, and they really get to see kind of what's going on. And it's a great opportunity for them to be able to go back to their classes and share with classes what they've learned, but also gives them an appreciation of the opportunities and the skill sets that we need going forward. And it's just a great relationship we have with them. And this is in partnership with the Greater Omaha Chamber and the Metropolitan Community College program that they have. And so with that, that concludes the State of the Utility report.